Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Krashy, and today I wanted to do another kind of topic discussion video. I love doing these, probably my favorite kind of content to make personally, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below about these types of videos where I just kind of sit and talk and we kind of go over things. And yeah, leave me a comment. I would definitely appreciate it. But today we're going to be talking about a new ranked mode. Now, yes, I know I'm the biggest complainer in the world when it comes to Pokemon Unite's ranked mode. I could talk about the actual format of the ranked system, how many points you get, the matchmaking of it, the fact that it's not separate for solo duo queue, and all of that such. But let's just get to brass tacks. That's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is an additional ranked mode. And to be very clear, this is a ranked mode for the high end. And I want to go ahead and explain something. I've been doing a little bit of research. It's actually kind of hard to find, but the more important topic is going to be coming from Wild Rift. But in China, there is a very popular MOBA called Honor of Kings. In North America, it's called Arena of Valor. And while that game is kind of dead, from what I've heard, Honor of Kings apparently is allegedly one of the most biggest, most grossing mobile games in the world. So very, very popular game. And they have something that like I said, been trying to research. It's a little bit hard. They have something called the Champions Battle Queue, or like Champion Queue. And it is essentially a solo only queue, not solo duo, solo only queue that is only accessible to, I believe, the highest rated players, or like some of the highest rated players. And it is only open for a certain period of time, either each day or each week. I'm not exactly sure. And new news about 4 days coming out from Wild Rift, which is basically League of Legends version of, their game on mobile, if you're not familiar with it, essentially announcing the exact same thing, Legendary Queue. Now, what I've heard doing research and looking at YouTube videos is that the League of Legends matchmaking, the League of Legends ranked mode, is very poor, not very good. For high-end players, it's not very fun. And guess what the #1 complaint for League of Legends Wild Rift is? It's essentially that there's no split queue. It's 5 stacks, it's friends playing together, it's a gigantic flex queue, and there's nothing for your average, solo player, solo duo player. And so, as you can imagine, this is a very common complaint and concern for MOBA players. This is not a unique thing to Pokemon Unite. It's definitely something that the actual genre is very concerned with. Now, let me get this very clear. I want to make my opinion on this really clear. I've heard people throw around, oh, well, they don't even call this game a MOBA and it's a team battler, and I get that, but you can't. This is the analogy. I'm gonna do it. You can't piss in a glass and call it lemonade, right? Like I'm not gonna buy it, right? You can't call this game a team battler and pretend like it's not a MOBA. You just can't do it. And they actually nailed creating a MOBA in a very unique way. Completely different win condition, completely different kind of farming. The way you get items is different from some other MOBAs, but it is a MOBA. It's at the core. It's the same goal in terms of how you fight, how you play, and it's just, executed slightly differently. So yeah, it's a MOBA. You're not going to convince me that they didn't make a MOBA. And so when it comes to the MOBA genre, this is a very big concern, that solo ranked mode, having something that's really, really good for, smaller party size players. So what is the Legendary Queue coming from Wild Rift? Well, essentially, I'm going to read you some of the bullet points from their blog post, and I'll link that down below. I might even have some of it up on the screen. TLDR, it says, we'll be launching a new ranked queue, Legendary Queue. It will be solo only, point-based system with new ranks, only available to players who reach Diamond and above in our current system. We're also making some adjustments to our current rank queue. So they're going to be adjusting their current rank queue, trying to make it the best that they can, but they essentially in this blog post say that they want to captivate the feeling of having that flex queue where you can play with your friends, but they also understand the need and the importance of having something a little bit more serious, right? That solo duo queue. Wild Rift is not nearly as hardcore in a sense as, say, your normal League of Legends, because at the end of the day, it is a mobile title, and the same thing gets thrown around when it comes to Pokemon Unite. People are playing on the go, it is mobile, it's not, your sit-down PC game, and they do want to hit that solo only kind of serious level because they know that they can have a game that's a little bit more accessible with Wild Rift, but also incredibly serious at the same time. So they're creating new ranks for this, and it's going to be open, this is really important, to Diamond and above only. This would work perfectly fine in Pokemon Unite. Masters players, you can rank up, get yourself to Masters, and what I think that they could do is one of two ways, is create a, just for lack of a better name for now, y'all can let me know what you think they should name it, if they ever did this, if they ever would. Legendary queue could be opened up to everyone who hits Masters, or it could be opened up to players, let's say, hit 1800 plus, because 1800 is that max reward. That could kind of, in their own way, be a way of saying, hey, you've actually at least earned 1800, and we know that the system still basically gives you 1800 for free, but it could be that barrier for entry for getting into the serious ranked mode. And that's where you get that perfect mix between having a casual based MOBA that players can play, they can get all the rewards, they can get to 1800 and they can quit playing if they want, they can keep playing, they can grind, they can do whatever they want, and then whenever it's time for legendary queue to open, that's where the serious players get to grind. And so, you know, I think if it opens up for a few hours a day in the evening times, the serious players can grind that queue. And I'm not sure if it's daily, like I said, or if it's on the weekends or whatever the case may be. It's not the plan, I'm pretty sure it's daily, certain period of the time. And you can actually grind that serious rank where you get the perfect balance. And I think that that's what this game needs, right? This game needs to be able to be accessible and appealing to all audiences, while also simultaneously being able to captivate and retain, really big important word there, retain the player base that it has in that of its serious player base. Myself, the casual competitor, the person that doesn't want to be a professional player, but also doesn't want to give up in the game either. Or the players who are playing competitively professionally, but didn't make it to Worlds. What do they have to play for right now? There's no major tournaments, nothing really coming up right away. What do they play for, right? Outside of maybe streaming and making content, maybe playing some of these smaller community tournaments, you need that engagement, that level of retention that is so important. So the legendary ranks are as follows. They have Warrior, and that's got divisions, Commander, Guardian, Vanquisher, Immortal, and Legend. So these really kind of commanding titles for their their legendary queue. And essentially, it's higher than Diamond, right? It's higher than the highest rank in the game. And I think that this could work for any MOBA. You know, it really does cut down to that hardcore player base. It's solo only. You don't even get an ally in this. And it's got its own separate rating, its own separate MMR. Essentially, it is a completely different rank queue that just happens to be unlocked at certain periods of the day, and it happens to be unlocked for a select player base. So I don't know, friends, I think that something like this could be that compromise that we're looking for, right? Because if I had it my way, I would just make the entire system serious, like actually serious, where you have to have a good win rate, you have to be solo duo, you have to, you know what I mean? Like, I would make the entire system really serious, and then you wouldn't even need something like this. Or we can have the best of both worlds. And I think when I'm looking at it now, you know, the more I did research into why is Wild Rift doing this? You know, why did they never just change? Because this is a League of Legends MOBA, right? Wild Rift is its League of Legends. Why did League of Legends make Wild Rift and not come out with a serious ranked mode? Well, I kind of get it. They want to keep what it does well, which is getting people playing the game and getting people playing together. I get that. But at the same time, I think that the longer that Wild Rift went on, the more and more they realized there was a necessity and a demand for something more, for something better. And that is what I think that we have already had with Pokemon Unite, and that's where I hope that we'll eventually get to. But this is all hypothetical. You know, I have no idea if this would work. I have no idea if this is anything that they're interested in. Probably not, sadly, but I'd love to know your thoughts. So friends, do you think that we could have a Masters Plus rank? That is a very specific queue. Solo, maybe solo duo only for our game to kind of keep that middle ground. Something that you have to either hit Masters to be able to queue into at very, niche time of the day. You know, only 2-3 hours a day would this queue be open. Has its own MMR or its own ELO, has its own leaderboard. You can only get to it if you're either Masters or say like 1800 Masters. I would love to know your thoughts. So friends, thank you so much for listening to this discussion topic. I think it's a really cool one. I'm going to link this blog post from Wild Rift. Again, I don't have a lot of research on Honor of Kings because it's a little hard to find information about that game. But yeah, definitely drop me a comment, drop a like on the video if you wouldn't mind. As always, friends, thank you so much for supporting the channel, supporting the content. I really appreciate y'all. You give me the best job in the world, and I'm going to keep pushing some awesome content and some discussion topics for y'all. So be sure to kind of want to tell someone you love them, and I'll see you on the next video.